Hello, everyone. Welcome back to A Page I Love. This is Kevin Sharp. Today, I'm joined by a name who should be familiar to most viewers of the channel, artist Josh Cassara. Josh, I'll say welcome back to Comic Art Live.
Thank you so much for having me, Kevin. I love being here.
It's great to have you as a guest, and we're going full cosmic today with your page pick.
It is an amazing page by Jim Cheung and Mark Morales from Infinity. I think issue 6 or something like that. Later in the issue, a big moment that had been building up through the whole series. And I mean, pun intended, it hit quite hard.
It's issue 6, page 31. Let's start at the beginning. This would have been on stands in late 2013. Where would you have been in your comics collecting / professional art journey at that point?
So at that point, I was not a professional. I was trying to break my way in. I had turned my life at around 2011, 2010 is when I decided this is something that I really wanted to do. And so I kind of just put my all, gave it a good old college try, as you might say. And that was kind of I'm right at the cusp because I started getting professional work and getting looks probably about 2014, but my real work first started coming, I think, 2015 into 16. So I'm kind of in the prime consuming everything I can get, right? And then amazing artists. And this series comes with, it has Jerome Opeña, Lionel Yu, Dustin Weaver, and Jim Cheung. I'm an artist and I've read 5% of every book that I've read. I would buy them for the art, And so I finally read it years later, but back to, I just would buy stuff just to follow artists and just consume it and, take in what they're doing and how incredible their work is and all their little tricks of the trade that they do. And that was one of them where I was already a fan of Jim Cheung and I liked his Thanos and his style was so cool. But that moment in the whole thing, there's some big moments in the series, but that moment, it was beautiful. And later on was when I think maybe Mark Morales posted it on social media, the inks to it. And that's when it really kind of blew me away. Like I already had known it. That was the page that stuck out in my mind from the series. And then when I saw the inks for it, it just amplified it in my mind.
So let's jump in. The viewers will see the pages we're talking. Now, I mean, what can one say really about this? Is just like a kaboom of a page. Why don't you kind of talk us through it? Of everything in the series, how'd you land on this one?
There was a couple pages I was trying to figure out. There was some ones that are very about the storytelling and the minutia of that, and some great examples, Frank Quitely stuff, or I was going to go actually with a trad more. But I realized this was a page that I have looked at one of the most, like I would kind of always go back to. And there's, storytelling wise, Thanos he's like, is that all you got? Something like that right before this page, the page turn is all of a sudden, he gets blasted by light. And he's like, is that all you got? And bring it on. And so then you have the page turn. It's like a half splash or just a little more than a half splash. And it's Thor coming down. The impact is great. And Thanos is this giant, right? And he's not obliterated. If Thor's hammer would usually, he's just kind of always like sideways and his neck is slightly turned. And there's this great white space in the middle of like where the contact is made. So it's a combination of where the contact is made and the flash of light and the lightning. And then, my favorite part, of course, you have like the little bits of lightning peeling off, but it's the cascading effect and the ripple effect of the chainmail just slowly piecing off. And not the first ones, like just off the hand. It's like it kind of built, it's like you can kind of see the ripple or it kind of builds off of it. And like the pieces come off like a shingles in a hurricane, right? And like it's a cause and effect. It's studies where, I've seen people, they throw punches and it looks really clean, but like there's these bits and pieces flying off, really showing the impact. And I think I've taken that in my career of like showing somebody get punched or an impact, and like little bits of matter are going to help because I'm drawing a still image, but those little pieces kind of make it go in motion for you. And I think I've seen other artists do it great, but that one is like the quintessential example that I think I always go back to.
So we're looking at the inked black and white version. Did you want to say also add your comments on the colored, the published version of this?
Oh, it's actually it's outstanding. Justin Ponzer, who I wish he passed away a long time ago, that I wish I had gotten to work with because his color work was outstanding. And and doing the same part with the lightning and leaving the white space and letting it go, and especially I think in the third panel works really well because in the second panel Thor's rearing back to hit again, and in the third panel, maybe it's kind of hard to see it first in the black and white, but it's Thanos' hand stopping the hammer and stopping Mjolnir, and there's the light going through the fingers and as it hits too. And Ponzer did such a great job with that. But it was seeing Mark Morales' inks and Jim Cheung. He's got this great style of he's got a lot of Art Adams in him, and he's got this kind of Jack Kirby-ish to him, and it kind of looks old school. And he when he inks himself, it's fantastic. But my favorite is when Mark Morales inks him. It's so crisp and sharp. And I pencil and ink my own stuff, and I'm completely jealous, and I have no idea how those magicians do it. My stuff is very messy and scratchy, and I take forever with it, and it's still messy and scratchy, and I have no idea. But the care that's taken and the lines that are chosen are so deliberate and like thought out. Both what Jim set up for him and what he's able to lay down. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. What is this more than 10 years later?
Do you own any Jim Cheung original art?
No, I do. I have a Mark Morales ink page over at Ed McGuinness, which is awesome. But I really want to get a Jim Cheung Mark Morales page. But all my favorite ones he will not sell because they're just too outstanding.
Let's turn it over to your work then. Why don't you let everybody know what you have on the stands now or have coming out this spring?
My current series is the Deadpool Wolverine ongoing series with Marvel. And I'm doing the covers, I'm doing all the interiors. I'm scheduled out. I'm not the fastest artist in the world, but I have to take a small break, but I'm doing 8 of the first 10 issues. So I'll have the first 2 arcs, the meaty chunks of those. And so that goes through into the summer, into the fall. Doing those covers. I've been doing the Fantastic Four covers. I took over after Alex Ross after his run. And so I think they just showed the newest one, issue 33, and it's the Fantastic Four in their spacesuits, like their Mercury 7 style spacesuits, but still kind of showing their powers. Speaking of like Jim Cheung, and he draws one of my favorite, The Things, right? With Ben Grimm, The Thing, and I did a cover with The Thing here, and he's definitely a big inspiration of how I draw him as well. Lots of nerdy Marvel stuff always popping out my way, and you'll see on social media, on Twitter and Instagram. I'll post fairly frequently of the stuff that's coming out, and I like to post a lot of process stuff too. If you like seeing thumbnails and sketches and like the in between shots is kind of my favorite thing to see more than the final product a lot of the times.
Well, Josh, thanks again. As we wrap up, we should give a special shout out to comic art fan's own Jason D for calling in the DJ All Request line and requesting you as a special guest. Glad, Jason, thanks for making it happen.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jason. Thank you, man.